Most men don't get rejected because they were unattractive. They get rejected because they move wrong. They misread the room. They mistake kindness for desire. They confuse a woman being polite with a woman being turned on. They tell themselves she's giving signs when she's really just being friendly, and then they embarrass themselves by making a move that was never invited. Or they do the opposite, and that's even worse. They see the signs, but they don't act. They hesitate. They overthink. They wait too long. And while they're waiting for certainty, a different man walks in with confidence and takes the moment that was meant for them. That's why learning these signs matters. Not so you can become weird and obsessed with body language, but so you stop living in confusion. Because confusion makes men act desperate. Confusion makes men become awkward. Confusion makes men chase what was never meant for them in the first place. Women rarely announce sexual attraction directly. Most women won't say, "I want you." They won't say, "I'm turned on by you." They won't say, "Come take me." Not because they don't feel it, but because they're trying to maintain control. They're trying to protect their reputation. They're trying to protect their pride. They're trying to avoid being seen as easy. They want to feel like you earned it. They want you to lead. They want you to be the one to step forward so they can step back into their femininity without feeling exposed. So instead of telling you, they signal you. And those signals are never random. Sexual attraction always leaks. It always slips through her composure. Even the most unbothered woman can't fully hide it when she's genuinely feeling you. The first place it leaks is her gaze, not the normal eye contact that people use when they're listening. I mean the kind of look that lingers too long, the kind of look that feels like she's taking her time, the kind of look that doesn't rush away when you catch her staring. There's a difference between someone looking at you and someone looking through you. When she's sexually attracted, her eyes get slower. Her face gets softer. She starts watching you like she's studying you, like she's curious about you in a way that goes beyond conversation. Sometimes her eyes drop to your lips for half a second. Sometimes she scans your body quickly and then tries to pretend she didn't. Sometimes she smiles slightly like she's holding a thought she doesn't want to say out loud. That's not friendliness. That's attraction slipping out. And what makes it even more obvious is the way she positions herself around you. A woman who isn't attracted keeps her distance naturally, not because she dislikes you, but because there's no pull. A woman who's attracted starts closing space without realizing it. She sits near you even when there are other seats. She stands close enough that you feel her presence. She leans in when you speak even when she can hear you perfectly fine. She finds reasons to drift into your area like she forgot she was doing it. Attraction is magnetic. She doesn't have to be loud for her body to move toward what she wants. Then you start noticing her voice. This is a sign most men ignore because they don't know women speak in layers. Her voice changes around you. It gets a little softer, a little slower, sometimes more playful. The words might be normal, but the tone carries something else. She starts laughing more than she needs to. She starts sounding more feminine, more relaxed, more sweet. And the difference becomes obvious when you compare it to how she talks to other people. With them, she's neutral. With you, she sounds warmer. That warmth isn't an accident. That's her body responding. Attraction also leaks through teasing, and teasing is one of the most misunderstood signs because men take it literally. She might call you trouble. She might say you're dangerous. She might accuse you of being a player. She might say you think you're cute. Those aren't insults. Those are her way of inviting tension without making herself vulnerable. Women tease men they want because teasing creates a flirty battlefield where you can prove confidence without trying too hard. And if you can handle teasing smoothly, it flips a switch in her. It tells her you're socially intelligent. It tells her you've been desired before. It tells her you're not easily shaken. You'll also notice her self-awareness turning on around you. Women are always somewhat aware of their appearance, but when she's attracted, she becomes more intentional. She fixes her hair when you approach. She adjusts her outfit. She straightens her posture. She exposes her neck. She angles her body toward you. Sometimes it's subtle enough that she doesn't even notice she's doing it, but you notice because it happens the moment you're near. Her body starts presenting itself to you, like it's saying, "Notice me," while her mouth pretends she doesn't care. And eventually, if the attraction is real, she starts giving you access. She responds faster than she needs to. She remembers things you said. She checks in on you. She makes time for you. She treats you like your presence matters, not in a worshiping way, but in a special way. She'll try to keep it casual, like she's not doing anything, but when you step back and look at the pattern, she's investing. That investment is her desire becoming practical. The strongest sign of all is when she gives you windows, moments where she makes it easier for you to lead toward intimacy without having to guess. She lingers after a hug. She stays after the conversation ends. She suggests something more private. She creates a little opening where the energy can shift from social to intimate. A lot of men miss those windows because they're waiting for a billboard that says, "Kiss me now." Women don't move like that. They open doors and watch if you walk through. And if you keep standing at the door pretending you don't see it, she'll stop opening it. Not because she hates you, because she's protecting herself. If you've ever missed these signs or misread them and ended up embarrassed, like the video because this is going to fix your calibration. Subscribe because Love Delusion is teaching men clarity. And comment "Read her" if you're tired of guessing and ready to start moving with confidence. Chapter 2. One of the biggest reasons men struggle with reading attraction is because women are masters of deniability. They flirt in ways that can be pulled back. They show interest without fully admitting it. They create tension without fully committing to it. And they do that because women have more social consequences for being openly sexual. If a man shoots his shot and misses, people laugh and he shrugs it off. If a woman exposes desire and gets rejected, she feels humiliated. So instead of risking humiliation, she signals. She gives hints. She creates openings. She tests. She wants to see if you're confident enough to lead without needing her to say everything out loud. That's why attraction shows itself in environments where she has control. Texting is a perfect example. A woman who is attracted to you starts reaching for you in small ways. She doesn't just answer. She adds energy. She adds flavor. She becomes playful. She sends voice notes because voice notes are intimate. She sends selfies that seem casual but were taken for your eyes, not hers. She starts giving you that kind of attention where you can feel she's thinking about you, not just replying to you. Men always think sexual attraction starts with sexual talk, but most of the time it starts with increased access to her attention. She's not trying to be explicit, she's trying to be present. In public settings, the attraction becomes even clearer because women don't accidentally choose you in a room full of options. When a woman keeps returning to you in a group, she's making a social choice. She keeps orbiting you. She keeps laughing with you. She keeps drifting back near you. She keeps positioning herself where you are. That isn't random. That's her selecting you without announcing it. It's her way of being feminine while still making her preference obvious to the man she wants to notice. And when you talk to her up close, her body begins to confess what her mouth is hiding. Her feet point toward you. Her torso stays angled toward you even when other people are around. She mirrors your movements without thinking. She leans in. She maintains closeness. A woman who isn't attracted will create polite distance and keep it there. A woman who is attracted will keep breaking the distance in small ways, like she can't help it. That closeness is her nervous system choosing you. Touch is another language, and touch is rarely innocent. Men love pretending it's innocent because it makes them feel safe. But women don't touch men they don't want, at least not repeatedly. A woman who's attracted finds reasons to make contact in ways that feel safe. A hand on your arm during a laugh, a tap on your shoulder, fixing something on your shirt, touching your jewelry, standing close enough that her body brushes yours. Then she watches how you respond. If you freeze, she might feel like you're too timid. If you get overly excited, she might feel like you're too thirsty. But if you reciprocate calmly, you communicate exactly what she wants to feel, that you're comfortable with intimacy. Teasing is another major tell. When a woman starts teasing you, especially in a slightly provocative way, she's building tension. She might say you're trouble. She might say you're not as innocent as you act. She might say you probably say that to every girl. She might challenge you lightly, and the way you respond matters. Weak men try to prove themselves. They rush to look like a good guy. Strong men keep it playful and confident. They don't panic. They don't chase approval. They let the tension breathe, and that tension becomes the bridge to intimacy. Then there are windows again. The little moments women create when they want you to step up. She says she's cold. She mentions she's bored at home. She suggests leaving the loud place for somewhere quieter. She asks you what you're doing later. She lingers longer than necessary. Women don't always say the invitation plainly, because the feminine instinct is to invite without chasing. It's to open the door without begging you to enter. And this is where men either win or lose, because when she gives you a window and you don't step into it, she starts reclassifying you. Not as a bad man, but as a man she doesn't feel safe submitting to because you don't lead. Attraction also changes her femininity. She softens around you. She becomes girly. She laughs more easily. She acts warmer. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice the contrast. With other men, she's normal. With you, she becomes lighter. That shift is her body saying, I'm open to you. Men who understand this stop chasing. They stop guessing. They simply observe. Because when attraction is real, it leaves fingerprints everywhere. Chapter 3. Now, here's where men get hurt. Because not every woman who flirts is attracted. Not every woman who smiles wants you. Not every woman who laughs desires you. And most men don't get played because they're stupid. They get played because they're hopeful. They want it to be true. They want to believe the signs mean something more. They want to believe she's secretly obsessed. They want to believe she's different. So they start building fantasies on top of tiny behaviors and calling it love. That's why this chapter matters, because you need to learn the difference between sexual attraction and attention addiction. A woman who is sexually attracted is moving toward closeness. A woman who wants attention is moving toward orbit. That's the cleanest way to understand it. Sexual attraction brings her closer to you in reality. Attention keeps you close enough to feed her ego, but never close enough to touch her life. Attention seekers don't want intimacy. They want admiration. They want the feeling of being wanted without having to sacrifice comfort or commit to anything real. This is why some women will flirt endlessly but never meet. They'll text late at night. They'll send selfies. They'll call you cute. They'll act like they miss you. Then the moment you try to make it real, she's suddenly busy. She's suddenly not ready. She's suddenly going through something. She suddenly needs time. And men accept that because they want to believe. They tell themselves she's shy. They tell themselves she's scared. They tell themselves she needs reassurance. But the truth is, if she really desired you, she'd make a path. Even shy women make a path. Shy doesn't mean unavailable. Shy doesn't mean endless excuses. Shy doesn't mean you never get access. The most dangerous woman is the flirt who keeps everything in safe zones. Group settings, public settings, social settings. She keeps you in spaces where intimacy can't happen, but attention can. She'll laugh with you, tease you, touch you lightly, then drift away when it gets too real. And if you try to confront it, she'll flip it on you and call you insecure. That's how she keeps power. She wants to keep you wanting her because your desire gives her leverage. What a lot of men don't understand is this: sexual attraction creates effort. Not the kind of effort where she chases like a man, but the kind of effort where she cooperates. She makes time. She responds consistently. She invests. She moves toward intimacy. She wants to see you. She creates opportunities. Attention seekers don't do that. They only show up when they want an ego boost. They pop in and out. They give you crumbs, then disappear. then return when they're bored. They make you feel special, then make you feel invisible. And men confuse that chaos with passion because uncertainty is addictive. The moment you stop being delusional is when you stop asking, is she giving signs? And you start asking, is she giving access? Because access is real. Access is her meeting you. Access is her saying yes. Access is her putting herself in position. Access is her creating privacy. Access is her letting the energy become intimate. Without access, all signs are meaningless. And if you want to protect your pride, you should test early. Not aggressively, not with pressure, but with clarity. If you feel attraction, invite her out. Watch her response. A woman who desires you will make it easier than you expect. She won't make you fight for basic access. She won't make you beg. She won't make you compete. She might have standards, but she won't be confusing. Confusion is not femininity. Confusion is manipulation. If you've ever been stuck in that limbo, wondering if she likes you or just likes attention, like the video because this is the filter that keeps you safe. Share this with your friend who keeps getting played. Subscribe because love delusion is about making men accurate. Chapter 4. Once you confirm attraction, the next mistake men make is trying to force a moment. They act like intimacy is something you demand. They think being bold means being aggressive. They think confidence means making a woman uncomfortable. And then they wonder why things get awkward. But smoothness isn't about speed. Smoothness is about pacing. It's about being able to create tension without destroying it. It's about leading without pressure. And women can feel the difference immediately. A woman doesn't just want to be desired. She wants to feel safe in the desire. She wants to feel like you have control over yourself. The first thing you have to understand is that escalation isn't one dramatic move. It's a sequence. It's closeness first, then comfort, then tension, then touch, then eye contact, then silence, then the moment. That's how it's supposed to happen. Men ruin it when they skip steps. They start talking sexual too soon. They try to grab too fast. They make the energy feel cheap. But the man who leads properly doesn't rush. He takes his time. He lets her feel the buildup. He lets her anticipation rise. Because anticipation is the real addiction. A lot of this starts with space. When you shorten distance, you create intimacy without saying a word. Sitting next to her instead of across from her, walking close enough that your shoulders touch, standing close enough that she can feel your presence, leaning in slightly when you speak. All of those things tell her you're comfortable being close, and comfort is a form of dominance. Not dominance over her, but dominance over the moment. It tells her you're not nervous. It tells her you're not afraid of intimacy. And women love men who are not afraid of intimacy. From there, touch becomes the next language. Not sexual touch, not grabbing, just simple contact that feels natural. A hand on the back guiding her through a door. A light touch on the arm when you laugh. A small moment of closeness that you don't make awkward. And then you watch her. If she stays comfortable, you continue. If she reciprocates, she's confirming it. If she pulls away, you respect it and slow down. That's how you stay masculine without becoming a creep. Masculinity is not force. Masculinity is leadership with awareness. Eye contact is where it turns from social to intimate. You slow down. You hold her gaze. You stop talking so much. Most men talk too much when they're nervous. They fill space with jokes because they're scared of silence. But silence is where intimacy is born. Silence is where tension grows. A woman who's attracted can sit in silence with you without feeling uncomfortable because she's not trying to escape the moment. She's enjoying it. And eventually, the moment happens. The kiss is not a surprise. She knows it's coming. You know it's coming. The way you do it is what separates a man from a boy. You don't lunge. You don't ask in a trembling voice. You don't do anything that makes you look unsure. You lean in slowly and you give her room to reject. If she stays, you take it. That's smooth. That's confident. That's respectful. And that's what makes it feel natural instead of forced. If you can master this, you stop missing moments. You stop fumbling situations. You stop being either too timid or too thirsty. You become calm and dangerous in a quiet way. The kind of man a woman can feel is a man. And that's what she wanted the whole time. Chapter 5. At the highest level, this entire topic comes down to one thing: clarity. Most men don't fail with women because they were unattractive. They fail because they keep guessing. They keep second-guessing. They keep trying to read minds instead of reading reality. And that constant uncertainty makes a man act in ways that are either too timid or too desperate. He waits too long because he wants to be sure. Then he watches the moment fade. Or he rushes too hard because he's afraid of losing the moment. Then he kills the vibe and makes the woman uncomfortable. That's why understanding attraction matters, because the man who can read what's real doesn't need to force anything. He doesn't need to chase. He doesn't need to overcompensate. He simply moves with timing, and timing is everything with women. What most men don't realize is that sexual attraction is rarely about one dramatic gesture. It's not one compliment. It's not one sexy message. It's not one bold move. It's the emotional current underneath the interaction. It's the way she keeps finding reasons to stay near you. It's the way her body opens toward you even when her words stay guarded. It's the way she becomes softer around you even while trying to look composed. That softness is the real confession. A woman can say she's chilling while her eyes are betraying her. She can act unbothered while her tone gives her away. She can pretend she's just being friendly while her body keeps closing the distance. Attraction doesn't need permission to show itself. It leaks. And the reason women try not to show it is because desire makes them feel exposed. A woman wants you, but she doesn't want you to know how much she wants you until she feels safe. She wants to feel like you earned it. She wants to feel like you led. She wants to feel like she didn't have to chase. That's why so many women flirt in ways that can be denied. They'll give you a look that lasts a little too long. They'll brush up against you like it was accidental. They'll tease you with words that sound innocent, but carry heat underneath. They'll create moments where you're closer than normal and pretend it just happened that way. And the whole time, they're watching you. They're watching if you can read the moment without ruining it. They're watching if you can lead without making them feel unsafe. They're watching if you're a man who understands women or a man who needs everything spelled out. This is why the strongest sign she's sexually attracted to you isn't just that she flirts. It's that she gives you windows. She gives you openings that move the interaction from social to intimate. She creates privacy. She tries to get you one-on-one. She suggests leaving the loud place for somewhere quieter. She lingers after the conversation ends. She stays in your space longer than necessary. She doesn't rush to leave even when she could. It's subtle, but it's unmistakable when you know what you're watching, because a woman who isn't attracted wants to end the moment cleanly. A woman who is attracted wants to stretch the moment. She wants the moment to breathe. She wants time to slow down. She wants you to step forward so she can step into her femininity without feeling like she's throwing herself at you. A lot of men misinterpret the signs because they think attraction should be obvious. They think it should be loud. They think it should be direct. But women don't move like men. A woman can want you badly and still keep her face neutral. She can desire you and still act chill. She can be turned on and still pretend she's not thinking about it. But her body won't cooperate with the act for long. Her voice will soften. Her laughter will become warmer. Her eyes will do that slow scan. Her posture will change. She'll become aware of her appearance. She'll adjust her hair. She'll fix her clothes. She'll present herself without realizing she's presenting herself. And what's happening underneath all of that is simple. She's trying to look good for you specifically. She might not say it. She might not admit it, but her body is already making the decision. This is also why men need to stop chasing women who only want attention, because there's a huge difference between a woman who likes being wanted and a woman who wants you. A woman who likes being wanted will keep you on the hook. She'll flirt for entertainment. She'll send just enough to keep you thinking. She'll pop up when she's bored. She'll disappear when you push for something real. She'll keep everything digital, playful, and safe. That isn't attraction. That's ego. Real attraction creates movement. Real attraction creates access. A woman who wants you doesn't make you fight for basic presence. She doesn't keep you in limbo forever. She makes a path. Maybe she won't chase you like a man would, but she will cooperate. She will show up. She will make time. She will lean into closeness instead of running from it. Once you understand that, your entire approach changes. You stop celebrating small crumbs. You stop getting excited over nothing. You stop building fantasies because she laughed at your joke. You stop acting like every woman who smiles is your future. You become calm. You become selective. You start paying attention to the only thing that matters, what she does. Because desire is proven through behavior, not through vibes. And when you become a man who watches behavior, you stop being fooled by pretty faces and charming energy. You stop being manipulated by mixed signals. You stop getting emotionally invested in women who haven't earned a place in your mind. And here's the part that men don't like, but it's what separates the men who win from the men who keep losing. You must be willing to act without needing absolute certainty. Not in a reckless way, but in a masculine way. Women respect a man who can lead. Leadership means you make a move when the moment is right, not when you're finally sure. You don't force her. You don't pressure her. You simply step forward calmly and let her respond. If she's attracted, she will lean in. If she's not, she will pull away. And either way, you win because you didn't waste months living in delusion. You didn't waste time paying attention to a woman who only liked attention. You tested reality and accepted the answer like a man. The truth is, sexual attraction is never invisible. It might be subtle, it might be guarded, it might be hidden under pride, but it always leaves fingerprints. The woman who wants you will make it easier for you to get close. She'll give you space to lead. She'll create openings. She'll soften around you. She'll invite intimacy in ways that feel deniable to her but obvious to you once you know what you're watching. And the man who understands this stops getting confused. He stops chasing the wrong women. He stops fumbling the right moments. He moves with calm certainty, and women can feel that. If this video gave you clarity, like it, because this is the kind of knowledge men actually need. Share it with that friend who keeps living in confusion and getting played by mixed signals. Subscribe to Love Delusion, because over here we don't guess, we don't chase, and we don't live in fantasy. We see what's real, we move like men, and we stay sharp.